live from the East Lansing Underground. This is 88.9 bringing you The Basement. I am your host, as usual, Liv.
And I am the co-host, Griffin.
Welcome to the studio tonight, guys. There's already been a lot of laughing, so I'm excited for this session. We're going to see how it goes. But we have a wonderful band in studio called Zora Rooibos. A lot of time confirming that name. But would you guys take a second to introduce yourselves?
I'm Zora.
I'm Rich, I play bass.
I'm Jake, I play lead guitar.
I'm Joe, I play drums.
Well, thank you guys so much for being in studio with us. You are actually the very first shoegaze that we've had, at least in our tenure on the show here. So always excited to bring something new to our listeners.
Thanks for having us.
If you do not know what shoegaze is, turn the volume up, listen in. This is June.
Thank you.
Welcome, Zora Rooibos.
Rooibos, however you want to pronounce it.
Well, welcome to the Basement Show.
Thank you. Open to interpretation.
We're so glad to have you, and we have so many important questions to ask you. But before I get to ask your names and where you're from, I have something very important to ask you. So, two things. Would you rather feed Snooki a Costco-sized tub of peanut butter every day, or would you rather work a 9 to 5 as a human table?
I feel like I already work a 9 to 5 as a human table, so let's switch things up. Snooki.
You're going to feed Snooki? I would feed her, too.
I would feed her.
See, I feel like really important to know here, is she protesting or is she like also on board?
I don't know. I just envision her as that South Park episode where she was like some monster in a closet. And they, you know what I'm talking about?
I sure do. Sure do.
But no, I don't think she'd be protesting. So I'm glad to. And why would you want to feed her instead of Be Human Table, Zora?
She sounds more exciting.
At least you get to meet Snooki, end of the day, you know?
I think she's an
wouldn't
icon,
wanna
just like you guys.
I do really feel like we can't pass up the comment, though, that you already work as a 9 to 5 as a human table.
I feel like working any 9 to 5 feels like that, like the essence of just being a human table.
It's a stable
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
hopefully.
they're all the same. All 9 to
If
5s
it's
are the
made
same.
That's good. That's rich.
That is rich.
Wait, so you already are a human table?
You could say that. You could say that. Yeah.
Okay, let's break it down to essence. Let's break it down to essence, though, because these 9 to 5 workers, the people who are in office every day or like in a store every day, getting a job done, like it's very functional to society. A table is very functional. Maybe it doesn't have a lot of frills, but something you need.
Exactly. Anyone want to chime in here?
Yeah, you
Jacob.
know, tables, you eat food on them, you do your homework on them, you cry at them. They're pretty important, you know? So to be a human table, I don't know what that means, but it seems like a lot of us are.
What if you were
You're an
Jesus, but
essential
no one
worker.
believed you?
You know, funny story. One time I had someone mistake me as Jesus, and then I kept telling him that actually I'm just a surfer. I'm not a surfer. I just wanted the conversation to end.
Do you get mistaken as a surfer a lot?
Funny enough, I get mistaken for a surfer from California quite often, and I just started working at a dispensary, and quite often that will happen. I don't know why. There's no water to surf around here. But that's what happens. I used to live in Illinois, and the same thing happened.
Well, that's cool. Do you ever tell the truth in that you're in a band?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like that's not an uncool alternative, like, persona to be, you know? The options on the table are Jesus, surfer, and guitar player, so...
One rides sick waves, one plays sick riffs, and one heals sick people.
There we go. That was off the cuff. Snaps.
So, Jake, when you work at the dispensary, like, does that ever influence you to get into creative mode? And
I'm sure there's a lot of people that you come across where it's just like little slices of life, and you get like 30 seconds with each of them.
I have met some very nice people, some incredibly strange people. And, you know, your normal person who doesn't talk much and just wants to buy their stuff and get on with their day.
okay.
Did I answer the question?
Yes, you did.
You did. You did. Thank you.
Do you have any particular anecdotes which can leave the store and grace our show tonight? Like, what is the strangest interaction you've had with a person? I guess in a wholesome light, if we can skew it in that direction.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's wholesome. It's usually people being somewhat creepy towards me. So, let's see, a wholesome one. This guy came by, and he like did engraving and stuff, and so he was showing me all this like cute stuff he engraved for his daughter. The most wholesome one I got. He was missing a leg, but was really good at engraving. And I'm pretty sure he could run faster than me, even though he only had one leg and one fake leg.
Why do you think that?
Yeah, what gives that
I don't know.
impression?
Well, usually he rides a bike up to the drive-through window.
Oh.
Oh, we have it's a drive-through?
Yeah, we got a drive-through.
So people pull up and they're like, "Can I get blank?" Like, and you'll have it ready, and
Yeah, so they come to the window. If I'm the person working the window,
So do you,
I'm the
like-
best
sorry.
person to be working the window because, I'm quick about it. But
Well, it's that personality.
thank you. Yeah, I suppose that does help. Yeah, they come to the drive-thru. I say, hi, what can I get you? I usually can't hear them, so I usually, most orders are one of three things. So I just kind of go, you got this one? And then most people go, yeah, that one. And I go, and how many? And then I'll hear some kind of mumbling, and I'll go, did you say two? Three of them? You want three of them? I go, no, I just want one. Okay, anything else? No, pull forward. That's about it.
Huh.
Do a lot of that. Sometimes I add things to the order. I just kind of go, hey,
Yeah.
I thought you might like this, and I don't know anything about them. And I scan it, and I go, yeah, your order is $5 extra. Well, why? Oh, yeah, remember you wanted this? Oh, I did? Yeah, I think you did. I probably shouldn't do that.
I think it's master sales techniques, but I think we've we've also digressed pretty far from the point here. So Zora, before we heard June today, I threw out the term shoegaze. Is that correct? Is that how you would characterize the music that you're making?
I would say so, yeah. When I first started making the EP, I wasn't really thinking of it in terms of shoegaze, but my lovely friend Joe over here, who produces and engineers my music, just made it very shoegaze. Kind of willingly, kind of unwillingly, but I like how it sounds in the end. So yeah, I would say so. It's very noisy. It has that type of vibey sound. So I would say, yeah. Some of them lean in different directions, but I feel like I take inspiration from different genres. But in the end, I would say that, yeah, it is kind of shoegazy.
So there were versions of this pre-recording, pre-production where these songs sounded totally different. That wasn't in the underpinning.
I think Joe kind of just enhanced it in a way that made it extra shoegaze. It was
Okay.
definitely shoegaze-y, and then when Joe put their spin on it, it kind of just became even more, which I think was the right direction.
Very
So-
cool.
Well, is this the direction you always wanted to go into?
Of shoegaze or I wouldn't say always, no. Growing up, I feel like I listened to a lot more I definitely love my alternative indie rock, but I also like folk, I like alternative R&B, different genres. So I feel like I kind of try to mix them together in a certain way. Yeah.
Nice.
Which I think I've been asked this question a lot, so let's break it down. Maybe maybe we're preaching to the choir here, explaining this on Impact, because a lot of our audience comes for shows like Pity Party or other areas where we feature these kinds of music that maybe aren't in the complete mainstream. You wouldn't hear it on a top 40 radio station. We're just not like other girls. But shoegaze is lots of effects, lots of distortion. Kind of like our host over here, Ashley, at the Pity Party, likes to describe it as a wall of noise. Are all these things that you kind of draw on and that you also see in your music?
I would say so, yeah. I really love noise. If you listen to my EP, you'll hear just at the end, I like to make it just very noisy. There's not really a structure to a lot of my songs. I like to just feel it out and then just make it however it feels best. But it always ends up kind of just with a huge noisy outro, like you just heard. So yeah.
I love that. The devolving sort of, and it all just...
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome sound.
Thank you.
And then Joe, you produced all the music?
Yeah. Yeah, I recorded, I mixed it, I mastered it.
And do you write?
Yes,
Yes,
you do.
kind
yes,
of.
you do.
Not my stuff. I mean, I do, but I don't put it out.
Interesting. Do you want to share what your shirt says?
It says dog in a boy suit. It's my friend Austin's band. It rules.
Cool. You should give us the information afterwards.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music to shout out tonight because, as I understand it, all of you have separate projects that you work on.
Yes. I realized we can't just nod our heads because it is a radio show. But yes, we all have other music.
All right, let's hear about it real quick. just get a rundown, kind of like build an idea of all the stuff that's coming into this music.
So Richie and I play in another band. Am I allowed to like say the band? Am I like,
Yeah,
oh,
go
okay,
for
cool.
it.
We play in another band called One Exit Down.
Oh, I know you. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
really cool.
Sweet. And that music, we have an album out that sounds kind of like indie pop rock, and then we're working on another one that sounds much more closer to a similar sound to what Zora's playing, or what we're playing here with Zora today. In Zora Rooibos. Yeah, I play in this
Yes.
band, and I can't pronounce the name.
And Rich?
And
Yeah, no, I'm currently just like in playing for Zora when I can, as much as they'll have me, and then also with One Exit Down. Yeah, I absolutely love the music. We've been working on some new stuff, so it's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun. I play drums in that band, so it's a little different than what I'm doing here today. But yeah, we have a good time with it. It's great.
And Zora, what about you?
This is me. This is Zora Rooibos. This is my really only project that I have right now. I did used to play in a different band when I was attending MSU. Probably never heard of it because we didn't really play much, but it was called Pomelo. We have one song out, and it was recorded, mixed, and mastered by Joe. So, yeah.
and Joe and I noticed Joe didn't grab the microphone.
Grab it.
All right, you tell him.
Okay. Jacob and I play in another band called Propolis. That's it. That's
You
the
gotta
only
tell
other
him
thing
what
I
it
do.
sounds like.
Oh, it's sad. It's really sad. It's folkish. It's like not folk punk, but like punk folk. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
I believe the genre, as Lucas describes it, is
anarcho post country gays
folk punk.
folk punk.
Yeah, anarcho country gays folk
Post-folk punk.
post folk punk, which is not a genre, but he's creating it. He's forcing it to exist.
I guess that's how everything begins. Which always need context. I really feel like I want to shout out some of the past work that you've done, Zora, even here around Michigan State. So, like, what was it, 3 weeks back, November 9th, all of you guys as a band came and played on campus. If you guys were lucky enough to come and see them at Dem Hall, then you got to kind of like feel this firsthand, which was really cool to bring you back. Because you also performed a session with Impact in the past, right? This one was just you solo. Yeah, we have a video of you in a greenhouse from a few years back, which is really cool.
That was really fun. I really liked that one. I played like a King Cruel cover, and then I played, I think, 2 other originals. And I think that was a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. And one of those songs that I played that was an original is actually now on my EP. And it sounds a little bit different, sounds a lot better. It's like there's a lot of progress that's been done with that song. So, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was Sillage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when did Zora Rooibos come together? When did this band form?
Quite recently. Quite recently, actually. Probably last month.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Wait, when was the first one with Kevin?
Oh wait.
That was October 11th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's only been a month.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, so I do booking at the Blind Pig, and I was trying to set up like a shoegaze show night for a Friday. I wanted to have like 10 shoegaze bands, and I had just moved back from Illinois, but turns out most of the shoegaze bands that were around the Michigan area just aren't around anymore. So I found 4 bands, including Zora, and I didn't realize Zora didn't have a band. So I asked Zora, hey, would your band like to play? And the response was, yes. Also, I don't have a band. And I went, you know what? I bet, I live with your producer. I bet I can play something in your band. And then now Joe plays drums. I play guitar. And then Richie was playing bass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of sharing the seat right now with the other bassist, Kevin. I think it's about 50-50 at this point. I mean, I'm on the radio, so I think actually maybe it's like 60-40, but...
Well, we're very happy to have you guys all in studio. That sounds like a very, as someone who also does booking, I don't know if I've ever gone that above and beyond to become a band for someone that I'm bringing on the show. But
It's very rare that I will do that. But
He's
But I
in
have
like
done
20 bands by this point.
only a few times.
You also named your band after tea.
That's the tea. That is the tea.
So tell us the tea.
So the tea, what's tea? So basically, yeah, I knew that I wanted to name, I knew that I wanted to include my first name and then something after that. And I knew I wanted it to start with R just because I like the way it sounds, but I didn't know what to do. And one day I was like, I like tea. I like Rooibos tea. And I feel like it's part of the lore that no one knows how to pronounce it. So I was like, let's just Zora Rooibos. So yeah.
That's sick.
Thanks.
Before you originated or created this name for yourself, were you always brainstorming like a stage name? Like, did that always reoccur in your head? Like, I don't know. I feel like for a lot of artists, like they might come up with it like on the spot, or they like take a long time to really figure out what's perfect for them and like how to identify themselves as an artist. I don't know. Did you put? Was there any more thought into your stage name, or? I know you also mentioned that you wish this was your real name, and you were mad that.
People do think it's my real name though, so
cool.
that's a win. But yeah, I don't know if I thought too hard about it. I was just trying to find things that started with R, and I was like, that starts with R, and Rooibos is cool, and it's red. Like the tea is red, and I like red, so that was really how simple it was. That was really the thought process.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we started this show at about 8:30. We've gotten through approximately one song, and it's almost 9 p.m. So with that, we're going to take us into our next song for tonight, Doorframe. Before we kick it off, would you guys give us just a few bits of information, what we should know about this song, or what makes it special?
This song is special because it's like 6 minutes long. Like it's just too long. But the bass part is so cool. And Jacob made up like the guitar part for it, which is super sick. And there is a cello part to it, but I don't have a cello player. So you'll have to hear that part when it's out. But yeah, it just has a lot of different like instruments in it, a lot of different sounds, and it sounds a little bit different from like the traditional shoegaze type of sound, but it's special. It's a special one. So
All right. Well, let's hear Doorframe.
I was so young when you told me that's right, really. Hold on, pushing 30. Feeling it's just some molded. I'm sick of joking. All of these deals are broken. I leave them soaking.
gonna be honest. I forgot I was here for a second. I feel like one of those, like the little solar power flower pots, you know, like the little plastic guys that just bob back and forth. Yeah, it was like my own world. I see what you're saying. It's all in the bass line.
Yes.
It is.
The bass line.
It really
Yes.
does. Kind of like, I don't know. As a listener, it felt like kind of its own little world. Like you're safe in the repetitiveness almost. You know, it's just like you get into the rhythm and there's nothing else.
It's a really cool way of putting it.
Yeah, I must have went over my head, but can I ask a little bit why this is door frame?
When I was writing the lyrics, I wrote the chorus first, and it was, if I stand next to the door frame. What are the lyrics?
So washed out.
If I stand next to you.
I have a hard time hearing your lyrics because of just the wall of reverb. But I pick out door frame sometimes.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's, if I stand next to the door frame while I measure up in the way you need to see me again, basically. So I had this like image of like someone standing next to a door frame, and you know how like when you're a kid,
Yeah.
your parents or whoever will like measure you and like write the mark of your height on the door frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just thinking that was kind of like my visual for the lyrics.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken a door frame?
Not on purpose. No, I'm kidding. I never have, I don't think.
I have.
What? Okay. That's so funny. I was about to be like, wow, like this imagery you set up of like like comparing yourself to like the child seeing the older you, like, will you measure up? Now I need to know about the door frame.
Oh, it was
Yes.
silly. It was my
Tell us.
brother's room. You know, he took something. He took my iPad, and I was in 6th grade. I was very territorial. Like, what are you doing with that? And he ran into his room and locked it, and I broke his door frame and went into his
Wow.
room. I was a psycho. But I was just curious. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I would have written a song about that. But I don't know. Well, speaking of just like being in your own little room, like, do you guys have a safe space, or like, where do you guys like to write? I don't know. Like, where. Both of you.
You first.
I actually have done the majority of my writing in the car. I used to
Cool.
like be a wine salesman, and I had to do like long drives across
Such
the
an
state.
eclectic, storied past.
So I would be on these long drives. So I would like, when I'd be home, either before I go to work or when I get home, I would fiddle on the guitar. I'd come up with something. I'd record it on my phone, or I'd make like a demo in Logic Pro, and then I would go on my drives and I would listen to it. And then I would like have lyrics kind of come to me. And then later, what I've been doing is I've been living with Joe, and Joe has shown me some new methods to use to write lyrics. And so now I usually kind of just do it in the living room.
Nice. So, are you still a wine salesman? You said this old job.
No, I used to be a wine salesman.
That's cool. So, where was this, like up north? Like.
So I started in Michigan. For 2 years, I was just kind of a normal sales rep in the state of Michigan. I got a phone call. They were like, "Hey, you're the best guy in the state of Michigan. You want to tackle your own state, big boy?" And I went, which one? And they said Illinois. And I went, okay. I went out there for 2 years. I didn't like it. So I came back. You know, I got to say, Michigan is a bubble, and I did not realize how much Michigan is a bubble. This is the greatest state in the U.S. No one's going to convince me otherwise. We got all the fresh water around. We're shaped like a mitten and a dolphin. What other state looks like a mitten and a dolphin? None of them. One looks like a boot. Do you want to live in the state that looks like a boot?
Wait, what state looks like a boot? Italy?
Louisiana.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't think about that one. Is that
So now I work at a dispo, and I don't sell. I went from alcohol to cannabis.
cool? Well, but then you
Thank
used
you,
to
Joe.
write. You used to write while you would sell the wine.
Oh yes, I would write while I would write while selling wine, and if I was under the influence while selling wine, I would show them my lyrics, and usually they would just kind of go, "That's cool, buddy," and that was it. That's the best response I got.
Okay, I have a theory that I'm getting from this, okay? So, we're talking about the music. We're talking about this bass line that's driving through this last song, Door Frame. And we're talking about writing lyrics on long car trips between these different locations. I feel like there's something in the repetition there and just like the boredom. I think boredom is so absolutely necessary to be creative. I don't know. Does that reflect at
agree.
all in your processes?
No, for sure. I feel like, it's really important to just be able to be bored. If you're too busy, you don't have time to think, you don't have time to relax. I feel like a lot of great creative things can come out of boredom. I was definitely really bored when I was writing this EP. I was super bored. I just graduated and I didn't really know what to do. And I was like, well, this is the perfect time to like write my music. So that's what I did. I didn't have anything like any obligations, major obligations at that time. So yeah, you could say this came out of some boredom.
That's amazing. I'm so envious. I don't remember the last time I've been bored. Maybe it's just because I'm still in school, but I 100% agree though, because like if you don't have time to think and just like have a minute to like block out everything else, that's when everything comes to you, and that's when everything makes sense, I would say, and that's where I at least have my coolest ideas. So yeah. I don't know. Is that, and I mean, do you keep like a little journal, and do you like to keep it written down, or do you keep it in your notes, or?
Yeah, I keep like my lyrics in my notes, and then that is actually right there. That is my journal where like all of this stuff
Amazing.
has come from.
So in the journal, which I'm assuming I can't see it, it's at your feet, but is that where we have our set list tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
So like the proto songs are in there.
Mm-hmm.
The half baked and now like this set list for tonight. It's all in that journal.
Yeah, that and
That's
my
pretty
voice
cool.
memos.
Well, before we get into the next song, I do have 2 more questions for you guys. Would you rather have a tail or be nocturnal?
What if you're already kind of nocturnal?
No.
What
like,
if you
it's
already
just,
have
like,
a tail?
No, like you just every day. Like
You
you
cannot
don't have a
function in the
choice. You can't
daylight.
function. Like that's just
What hours constitute nocturnality?
maybe
sing
like you go to bed at.
Let's say like sunrise to sunset or like
Yeah.
sunset to sunrise.
Oh yeah,
You go to bed at, like,
I already
8
did that when I was
a.m.
unemployed. That was great. It was good. Nothing
All
bad
right,
came
easy
of
choice then. Nothing bad.
I think nocturnal would be pretty cool. Having a tail, I think you got like a good 2 months of like fame and freak show, kind of style doings before everyone just kind of forgets about you again. But being nocturnal, you could just kind of live life when everyone else is already, asleep and roads are clear. It's a lot more calm. You don't have to deal with.
But it's really hard to
hustle
go
and
to like the
bustle.
grocery store and stuff.
Now it is. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
dark all the
Or
time.
like a
here.
doctor. But to be fair and less pragmatic, as I'm sure the question is intending, I feel like if there's any pursuit to follow while being nocturnal, music is a good one.
Very
That fits the bill pretty well. That's very true. Yeah. How do you guys feel about is that something that comes naturally to you, playing shows like late, playing back to back? It's pretty draining.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It can be. I mean, it's exciting, and then there's a lot more to playing a show than just like the average person going to a show then leaving when they're done. It's like there's a lot more to it when you're actually playing the show. Having to tear down, making sure everyone's good. Something always seems to go wrong.
Leaving
so
your
there-
amp
yeah,
on the street,
Yeah,
making someone go back and get it.
Yeah, getting to impact with only a certain amount of time, and yeah, things happen. I mean, but it can be definitely draining. It's fun though. It's funny. You could be tired all day. You have to go to the show. You go to the show, and the energy from the show will keep you up all night. It's kind of weird actually how that works.
Which one of you has the craziest like the show must go on moment, or like fake it till you make it moment, if you have any?
I was playing a show for a band I auditioned for, and I auditioned for them, and then they're like, all right, cool, well, you want to come play a show with us this week? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I went with them, and I was playing drums, and there was a kit that was there for me to play. It was a backline kit, and the bass drum, just every beat I played on that bass drum, it slid about 2 inches. And I'm trying to impress this band, trying to join them, and it just kept getting away from me. And it was, at one point, the bass drum pedal disconnected from the actual bass drum itself. Mind you, it was at the Pyramid Scheme, so in Grand Rapids, which is a pretty decent venue.
It's a legit venue.
Yeah, it's a pretty big venue, and it was like, I think it might have been sold out. I don't know, but there was a ton of people, and the biggest show I'd ever played with a new band with new songs and a drum set that was not for me. Nerve wracking, but we made it through. It was fun.
That's good. I'm glad everything worked out well.
It
Do you
did.
still have contact with this band?
No, I quit.
Okay.
It was cool. They're cool. They're actually a really cool band. They're called Future Misters. Really cool music, kind of like the Strokes, like a rockin' band. Cool, catchy songs. But just and it's just not my type of drumming. So it was fun while it lasted.
I'm glad it worked out.
When I was in high school, I was in drama club, and we did this like short play called Take 5, which the whole point of the play was that you're watching a set and everything like crumble. And like it's funny because it's like you're watching all of the people try to struggle, but there became a line where I realized the audience did not know what was scripted and what wasn't, because there was like the last night that we did it, I walked out of a wall and I like slammed the door because you have like these like prop walls, and I watched the whole like sea of people like look up and like gasp with this like and I'm kind of like, why are they doing that? And I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized, because in the next moment the wall like toppled over and it hit me in the head, and then my anchor person, like co-star person was like, oh I gotta help you, and so was like trying to push the wall up, and then
And this is all part of the play?
no.
At that point, did you even improv?
The whole play, it might as well have, I guess, but we just pushed it up, and I had like my head hurt for a lot of it after that, but it was just kind of like, well, they don't know it wasn't real, so, or they don't know that it was real, I guess, is what I would say, because it was not supposed to happen that way. I'm safe, I'm fine.
Good.
glad
That
you're
may
okay.
that may be connected to the Windows restarting noise. This was about 30 seconds before we went on air. There's this like quiet stretch where our sound guy Drew is in the other room, and he's doing the iCarly like 3, 2, and and it's dead silence. And Jake says, "Did anyone else hear the Windows restarting sound?" And long story short, no one did. So we're convinced it's in your head, and
I am alone.
and now we know why. Horrible timing. My bad.
Well, are you stuck in the Windows home screen mentally?
I wish I was stuck in the Windows home screen. I mean, have you seen that lately? You
Yeah.
go back and look at a Windows XP screensaver. Where are those meadows at? Where are they?
They're in California.
Really?
I wrote a paper on Fruitigo Arrow.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait,
Wait, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like the aesthetic of like how people like designed computers in the early 2000s, or at least it was like it's supposed to like comfort the users because it was all so new. So they had a lot of like nature and bubbles and grass and like
But like overly green grass.
yes
And like extremely like ear piercing or like eye piercing blues for the sky. Oh yeah.
yeah.
I feel
and
like
it was
I'd
just
rather
all
be
to make-
stuck in Roku City
yes
than that.
And there's also
How times
like,
have evolved.
Fruitigo Metro, which is like how
This is such a
Apple-
niche piece of like knowledge to have. I'm fascinated.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is your major?
I'm a digital storytelling major, but I also like I'm an art photography minor, so I've like this was for like an art
So,
class.
so you know everything.
No, I don't. But I'm really glad to have you guys here.
We're glad
Thanks
to
for
be
having
here.
us.
Gonna bring it back around. Okay.